Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a wintry snowman. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to keep it simple for beginners. I've got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's managed chat for our live show, so if you've got questions while I'm showing you how to paint this, you can ask those and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, I'm going to be using a... Ooh, am I not centered there? All right. Let's move my camera a little bit there. Sorry, guys. I need to move him up, I guess. I moved him down while I was drawing there. I'm using a 8x10 inch canvas panel this time. This is the Fredrix Pro Belgian linen canvas board. And you can use really whatever size you want. The original image was square, but I went ahead and did it on this size just so that we could have room to maybe put his arm or something else up here. We're thinking about a couple of things that we might add to him. We'll see how much time it takes us to get through him today. Let's go over our colors really quick. Got Unbleached Titanium, Titanium White, Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Red Medium, Cadmium Red Light, Cadmium Yellow Medium, Phthalo Green Yellow Shade, Teal, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Burnt Umber, and Carbon Black. Now, if you don't have all these colors, you don't have to, run out and get them. Just use what you have that's similar. And this color and this color can both be mixed. Really, the green can also be mixed with the colors that we have here. The red can be mixed with the quinacridone and the cadmium red light. But we're going to use enough of it that I figured we'd start out with it already pre-mixed. All right, let's go over our brushes really quick. I've got a large number 10 Bright, a number 4 Filbert, and a number 2 round in the 6100 series from Princeton. And then I've got a couple angle brushes for some of the detailed work. This is the 1/4 inch and the 3/8 inch VelvetTouch angle shaders. This is the Willow's blender in the 3/8 inch. Also the VelvetTouch line. And then these are the Princeton Select series. This is the Bristle fan, the 3/8 inch Deerfoot Stippler, and the number 1 round. So if you don't have these exact brushes, just use what you've got. But Princeton is our brush sponsor and Fredrix is our canvas sponsor. We thank them for providing our materials for tonight. Also, there's if you've got these little foam pouncers, they're really cheap. You can get them at the craft stores. They come usually in the stencil area, and we'll be using those for some of the background details too. So if you've got those, grab them. But if you don't, you can use the Deerfoot Stippler or something like that to do the circles instead.
Well, they should pay for them, right? Huh? Not just grab them. They should.
That's true. They should probably pay for them before they leave the store.
We're not condoning that kind of activity.
No. Sorry, I didn't realize that's what I had said. Good point. Thank you, honey.
I guess it depends on how fast you can run.
I can't run fast at all, so that would be out. All right. So the snowman is kind of off center. He's kind of really filling up the kind of this half of the canvas here, and he is at an angle. His head is tilted a little bit. So if you kind of want to start that way, you can kind of map out sort of the boundaries of his face and scarf just by kind of doing kind of a diagonal line there or something like that, just to kind of keep your boundaries so you kind of get everything going the right way. And then these parts are going to be going at an angle this way. So the top of his hat is kind of this little round section right here, goes off the corner, and you're cutting off, it ends right about the halfway mark. So if you just kind of want to check that there. Actually, this is probably dead center on our canvas, so we're just off center right here where the end of the hat is. Right there. And then another line there for the top of the hat. And then this line curves up this way, and this one curves up this way as well. All right. And then the side of his face curves down like this. And then there's the scarf that kind of curves like that. And like I said, there's kind of an angle here, so you kind of know where to end the scarf at. And then the bottom of his scarf kind of curves up this way under his chin. And then there's a fold right here that goes off the canvas. Okay, then you're going to fit his face in here. And the easiest way to do that is just to kind of do the two eyes up. They're very close together, kind of up towards the top, real close to the hat here. And then fit the mouth in. And also this angle should match this angle. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing the mouth, that you want it to go up a little higher on this side. And the same with the eye. This eye is going to be a little bit higher than this since his head is tilted. And then the nose is going to be right in the middle of the two eyes. And just do kind of a little semicircle, and then a curved line up, and then another curved line down like that. And there's the little nose. All right. And then we might put an arm in here. I'm not sure. We won't draw that until later. The rest of this is going to be all kind of blue background here. So. And I thought about starting with the blue total under everything. I just didn't get time to do that. So if you want to, you can start out with the light blue background, and that'll give you a head start on what we're doing. But I'm going to go ahead and start with some phthalo blue and some white. And I'm going to keep the background fairly bright for this. It's kind of a cool winter scene. Might add just a tiny bit of green just to make it a little bit more teal. And I'm going to start up in here, tap that in, and I'm going to grab a little bit of the burnt umber to darken it. In this corner over here. And I'm just using the number 10 brush. I did add a little bit of water to it. Every now and then I'm going to dip a little bit more water in as I work to keep those paints moist on the brush. If you don't dip in the water when you're working with acrylics, what happens is that canvas is dry, and so it's just going to suck all the moisture out of your brush. And after a while, you're going to end up with no moisture left in your brush, and so it'll just, the brush will start sucking off the moisture out of the paints, and so your paints will start to get thick, and you'll have to add more paint to cover the same area, and than you would if you would just pick up a little bit of water every now and then. So water will help make your paints go a little bit farther. So just keep that in mind. If you feel like your paints are not covering really well, just pick up a little bit of water, a little bit more water every now and then.
Now, is there a particular brand of bottled water we should be using?
Just regular tap water is what
Just
I use. But
regular
there,
tap
I mean,
water?
there are artists that do use, you're laughing, but there are some artists that do use filtered water because they don't have as many minerals. I don't really find that it's an issue for me, but if you have really heavy mineral water in your area, you may want to use filtered water so that it doesn't react with your paints. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the Unbleached Titanium and just do a little bit of that color in a couple of places here. And what we're going to do is kind of do a little bit dark background for this, and then we're going to let this dry, and we're going to go over the top of it with our little pouncers to add some little bright spots in it. So go a little bit darker than you think you're going to need to for this background. Also, the acrylic paints will, especially if you're using heavy body acrylics, they're going to dry a little bit darker than what they go on. So they're going to look a little bit darker after they start to dry. But this one I'm going to be trying to keep it on a beginner level. So, and if you notice that I'm just kind of working from one side to another as I add another, more color, more of the light color, I am blending into the darker color as I work so that it all kind of blends together without drying. So if you try to do like dark down here and then do light up here and then try to match them in the middle, sometimes what'll happen is this middle part or this bottom part will be dry and then they won't blend really well for you. So just kind of start from the bottom and work your way up. This is a small enough canvas so you can, you shouldn't have any trouble getting it all covered before it starts to dry on you, and you can kind of get it sort of softly blended like this. All right, so I'm going to use this blue that's in my brush and put it up here under the brim of his hat and kind of on the face of my snowman. And I'm going to grab some of that Unbleached Titanium and add that.
I was just thinking I need to start my own bottled water line.
Because we want...
For artists.
For artists.
The Stickman line.
Stickman line of bottled waters. Bring your art to the next level or something.
Yeah.
You need a catchy slogan if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I got a long enough hose. I can run around and fill up some empty bottles I found on the side of the road. What do you think? $10, $20 a bottle?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Good luck with that, honey. Good luck.
My business models, I'm working that out a little bit right now, but...
All right. I'm not going to even comment.
I figured you wouldn't.
Yeah. All right, so I'm adding, it's a little bit lighter than the background, just a little bit lighter. But we want a little bit of color underneath our white when we do our white on top of this. So just having a little bit of that blue underneath our snow will really help. And you'll see, just trust me, it's going to look worse before it looks better. This painting, especially with acrylics, when we're doing these kind of layering type of things, it always kind of looks weird when we first put on the first couple layers. But we'll work through it and get it looking good for you. All right, washing that brush out. And let's grab some of the Quinacridone Magenta and some of the Carbon Black. I'm gonna make a deep dark red. And I'm going to use that up in my hat up here. And then grab some of that Cadmium Red Medium and just go over the top. Again, I'm working kind of wet into wet, so put that dark color down first and then lay the lighter color in where I want it brightest, and then just kind of lightly work it back over into that dark area so that it blends together a little bit. And if you get too much of the light color, you can always come back in with the dark color later if you need to. That's probably about all we're going to do up there. We might do a little highlighting, but that's not doing a whole lot of details up there in the top of the hat. Not seeing a whole lot of it. And let me think, how do we want to do the stripes on the scarf? I guess let's go ahead and just use this color for the red parts, and then we'll use another color for the white parts. So let's go ahead and just, our scarf is curving around. I may want to switch to a little bit smaller brush, might be easier. I'm going to do a small stripe at first for this one that's kind of curving around the edge. And then as we get towards the middle, we're going to get a little bit farther apart, a little bit wider with our stripes. And they're going to be going at that angle. Remember that angle that we're kind of doing our snowman's head tilting, so that we're going to be doing these stripes in the same direction as that head tilt. So these two in the middle are going to be the widest. There's another little one kind of sticking up off the side there. Okay. And then let's do this one right here. Nice and dark. These two are going to be kind of tucked into the shadows of the scarf here because it's kind of tucking down into the other one. So if you want to make this bottom part simple, you could just do stripes all the way across and not do this kind of crossover thing that we're doing. Actually, I might just do that. It'll make it easier try to keep it simple so you can do this with your kids or whatever. All right, so we'll just do that. Do a little bit more of that bright red. As we get towards the edge, we're going to get a little closer, a little smaller. There we go. Okay.
So I wonder where the first snowman was made.
I don't know. When it became an icon.
Well, like, who was the first person to sit there and roll a bunch of snow into balls and stack them on each other and say, yep, that looks like a man?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably the same person that started sandcastles and things.
Wow, they get around a lot between the snow and the beach.
Snow and the beach. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's kind of the same almost. Using black here. And since this is coal eyes, you know, if we want to kind of make them a little uneven, we can do that. Make them, don't have to be perfect. If you want to make them perfectly round, you could use the back end of a brush or one of these little pouncers if you had a small enough one, and do them perfectly round. Little eyes.
Okay. According to the internet, they say that the earliest documentation was a marginal illustration from a 1380 book found in the something bibliothèque at The Hague.
Really?
The earliest known photograph of a snowman
is what age? What?
1380.
Really?
Yep. And they say the earliest photograph of the snowman was taken in 1853 by Welsh photographer Mary Dillwyn.
There you go.
The original, which is in the collections of the National Library of Wales.
So
I
it
don't
started
know
in Scotland?
why the Library of Wales has snowmen, but you'd think it had fish and stuff, but okay.
All right, I've made a dark orange with the Cadmium Red Light. I added a little bit of this magenta and black to it, and then I added a little bit of the burnt umber too. I think really just burnt umber would probably work for it. I'm going to fill in this nose. I covered up part of it, but it's kind of got these circular kind of things happening. This is supposed to be a carrot, I guess. So it's a little, well, it is a carrot, I guess, yeah. Are you laughing at me?
I don't know about that.
It is a carrot.
It kind of looks like the leftover stuff from our printer at work.
What are you talking about?
We have a plotter at work that's a color plotter, and it uses these wax kind of balls. They almost look like paintballs.
Really?
But they're solid, and you load them into a hopper, then the residue, it dumps that out into a tray, and they look like stalactites, and they're all squiggly, wiggly looking.
Interesting.
Like that.
I've never seen that.
I'll have to bring you some home for Christmas.
That's okay, yeah.
I put some in your stocking.
I believe you. It's all right.
Great Christmas idea.
Done. I bought myself some more Christmas presents last night, so I got myself a robe and some pajamas on sale. So should I wrap them up? This is what happens at Christmas.
I noticed we had another delivery today. That's all I'm saying. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Yes, we are this weird. I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. All right. Let me see if this is dry enough. I think that's dry enough now. We can start putting our little circles on there. So I'm going to get this wet just a little bit. Pick up some white. with it. I'm kind of using the medium size, and I'm going to brush it into my blue here. So I want to go just a couple shades lighter than the blue that we did for the background. That's kind of what I'm shooting for here. And we're going to use several different colors, so it's not going to be just this one color. Grab some teal here. Do a little teal. And what's going to happen is you're going to just set it down and kind of circle it. Press it in a circle. And I'm just going to keep on going until most of that's off. And the more I do it, the less paint I'm going to have and the more soft it's going to get. So I'll have some that are darker and some that are softer. And I'm going to overlap them, and there we go. See how that works? Let's go ahead and grab some of the Unbleached Titanium.
Okay, we got a question from a new artist.
Okay.
They said that, would you think that it would be easier to paint the face white before putting in the eyes and nose?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to, I'll be having to work around it, yeah. So I thought about that too. Yeah, so you could wait. I only did it because I wanted to get that dark color on there, but I am going to have to work around it to get that white on there. So it might have been better to wait.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, be quiet, you didn't know. Do some bigger than others there. Get some more of that teal. This time I'm going to do it with a larger pouncer, and you just don't want a lot of water on there. You want a little bit of water, but I just dipped it just a little bit into water and then put it on a paper towel so that I got most of the water out of it. You just want it barely damp, and so I'm gonna just keep overlapping these until I'm going to get them where we want them to be. Just really whatever looks good to you. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's kind of fun. Do some brighter ones with the white. We're going to put on some snowflakes too and some splatters. So there's going to be all kinds of different things going on back here.
Now, you may have already explained it, but I wasn't listening.
Okay.
What are other options if they do not have these sponge pouncers?
They can use the hold on a second. I'll show you here.
They can use their nose. Just smash it in the paint and rub it around on the painting.
True that.
Mm-hmm.
You can use something like this.
Somebody else's nose if you need smaller ones or bigger ones.
These ones, what this one will do is kind of give it a little bit smaller. They'll be a little bit fuzzier around the edges, so they won't be as precise. But you can kind of get the same sort of effect using the Deerfoot Stippler. And just make sure you're not having a whole lot of paint on your brush at once if you're doing this way. Kind of helps to make it a little bit softer. Okay, so while we've got this Deerfoot out, let's go ahead and put in our white for our snowman. And I'm just going to tap it in there, over and around. And yeah, we'll definitely have to clean up around the nose and the eyes. So if you only want to do it once, you can wait and do this first and then do the nose and the eyes. I was just trying to kill time since that was drying, so I'm going to grab a little bit more of the lighter blue. So I'm still pouncing, but it's not quite as bright. The brightest part is going to be right up in here. A little bit more white. Be bright up here. Get some of that darker color to do under here. A little bit more white. And I'm not using a lot of pressure on here. I don't have a ton of paint on my brush. I'm just kind of lightly tapping so that I'm getting kind of these fuzzy edges. And if your brush is staying kind of too close together and it's looking like little perfect circles, you know, I would just kind of smush it down, really smush it down onto your palette to spread those bristles apart. Because especially when they're new, these brushes don't want to separate. They want to kind of stay together. So you won't get as good separation on it. Pick up a little, tap it off on your palette, and come to your canvas. There we go. So we're seeing the undercolor through. You can kind of see why we did that blue under there. It's a really pretty undercolor for our snowman. And we're going to definitely put a couple of coats of this white on here to make sure it's nice and bright in the middle area where we want it to look kind of more rounded. Between the eyes. Not at all worried about going back over those eyes because we're going to be layering this anyway, so it does not matter.
Okay, we're going to test your knowledge.
Okay.
What if they don't have a Deerfoot stippler?
If they don't have a Deerfoot stippler, you could use a stiff bristled brush. Let me see if I have one handy here. Like a hog bristle brush works. Ooh, those are not one to turn. There we go. Something like this. They're real cheap, and you can use that for stippling. They work pretty well. You get kind of similar type effect with it. You could use a gesso brush. It'd be a little bit harder. I would definitely not try to, go around anything or anything small, but this gesso brush is made of that same hog hair as this smaller brush. So if you have something like that, that would work. Maybe a smaller size, or just an old brush, maybe that is seen better days. That's kind of old and fuzzed out, and doesn't have to be a stiff bristled brush even. You can still kind of pounce brushes like this and get, let's do a little bit of this blue. You can kind of see.
So what I would suggest is that if people are needing these brushes, they can email this link down below the video to the brush guys, to their family, and say, hey, this is what I want for Christmas.
There you go.
They can order online, 5% off with the code Angela Fine Art. Boom.
Yeah, make sure they have that code. Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's going to be deer feet all over the country.
I've used the Deerfoot stipplers for, oh gosh, years and years and years. They're just really good for foliage, for all kinds of different things, doing trees and anything that you need that kind of soft, fuzzy look. Sorry, I didn't mean for it to be quite that bright. There we go. Now you can kind of see when these, dry, if you need to do more to them, or if you want to add more. I'm going to put one there that's kind of going off the edge there against our hat. Cover that up.
And your Deerfoot is the Princeton Deerfoot, right?
Select.
Select. And in the Brush Guys link, it'll be in that list of your preferred suggested.
Okay, I don't like that at all. Just gonna take that off. Let's try that again. There we go. Right, so let's go ahead and grab some of that Cadmium Red Medium. I've got my angle brush here, and I'm just going to tap with it to add kind of fuzzy texture. If we did this dark enough underneath here, which I think we did, we'll kind of see this show up as like kind of fuzzies. And I'm really just kind of tapping. Let's go ahead and tap along that edge to kind of soften up that edge too. Make it look kind of like felt. Just tapping, and I'm not going all the way down to the bottom because I want to leave a little bit of that dark right down there and in the corner. See that? I'm going to wait and do the white first. So I'm going to get some of the black and some of the blue and some white, make a gray. But it's a blue-gray. I'm going to use it underneath my white part of my hat. Need to add a little bit more white to that. There we go. I'm just going to do it kind of sideways like this so that I get sort of fuzzy edges kind of going over the top of my red just a little bit. Just kind of going back and forth here. Were you laughing at something?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to keep up with chat.
Okay,
it's
good.
like flying tonight.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Are you joking?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm not at all.
All right.
I'm sure I've missed a lot of comments and stuff like that, and I apologize because I stopped for a few seconds like this to talk, and it goes. So hi to all the unusual suspects.
Good. Hey guys, hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, I did.
Good.
I had a long weekend. Well, you made me work Saturday, but
I did make you work Saturday.
And you told me I got to work this Saturday and Sunday.
Is it this week? No, it's not this week.
Oh, it's not this week. It's next week. Okay. Whew.
Not yet.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. There's a lot of new names in chat. Good. Welcome to everybody catching us live for the first time.
It's awesome.
If you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. And after the show, check out the 300 some on tutorials. Yeah,
if you like Snowman, I did another Snowman tutorial. Actually did one that's like a little snowman with a house under glass, like a snow globe.
Oh, yeah.
Last year. And then the year before that, I think maybe 2 years before that, I did a snowman ornament set that was really fun. So there's several ornaments or several snowmen to...
Yeah, and people have been posting those in the Facebook group, and I'm
I know,
like,
they're
oh
so
yeah,
cute.
I remember that
one of them's a little artist snowman. Is probably one of my favorite. I really need to do one of him like on a big canvas because he was really fun. Yeah, he's painting himself. He's doing a self-portrait.
It's awesome.
Super cute. Snowmen are like my favorite, one of my favorite things to paint. They're so fun.
And in your Facebook chat, This week you're going to do your Snowman collection?
Oh, yeah. Yep, we're going to be going over, we'll be doing a live chat.
Is that Thankful Art or?
In my Thankful Art group,
Okay.
yep. Yep, so if you want to see the 200, 300 snowmen, I don't know how many we have. I stopped counting.
She's got a problem, people.
I do have a problem. Well, we've been collecting them since the 90s, so it's not like I went out and bought 300 in one day. It's like, when you add 2 or 3 a year after 30 years or whatever.
We're not that old.
20, 25 years, it adds up. So
we're just teenagers.
Yeah. All right, so just add in this light blue here, and I'm just really tapping it in, like I said, kind of not being super careful about the edges so that they kind of look fuzzy, and that gives it that kind of look of a sweater or, knitted, whatever. So, and this is just a little bit different from the blue in the background, just to give it kind of a more wintry, deeper blue color, just to give it a little different tone. But like I said, you could totally do the whole background blue. And if you did that, and you could skip this step because you'd already have the blue there. And then you could do the next step that we'll be doing over the top of this. And you'd already have that blue underneath your snowman too. So if you want to, that would be a way to go. Is to just do the whole thing with this light blue color that we did in the background to start with. And then do the upper layers on top. Lots of different ways to approach a painting. Somebody was saying, wouldn't it have been easier if I did XYZ in one of my tutorials, And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it easier, but not necessarily look better, Like the way that I like to do it gives it layers, and the layers equal more depth, and more depth just makes it look a little bit more realistic, a little bit more professional, a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more special. So you can definitely do this all in one layer and be done with it. It just won't look exactly the same. It's not that it's wrong or right way of doing it. It's just a different way of doing it. So there's lots of different methods in art, and I'm just kind of showing you the way I like to do it. But if you find that there's another way of doing it that's easier for you, by all means do it. I am not going to be looking over your shoulder. I am just showing you, letting you look over my shoulder. Well, I'm doing what I'm doing. Oops, I was off camera. No, I wasn't. Okay, there we go. Oh, he looks cute. I like him. I like him. Cute, cute, cute. All right, so let's grab some more of that blue, a little bit more of that black. I ran out of that gray in color. And I'm going to just wipe off my brush mostly, and I'm going to go in right here underneath the nose. Do a little bit more of that dark blue shadow right there. And I might pick up some of that white and just tap over it to blend it in. Sometimes I use my finger to kind of just brush it in. This is kind of thick, going on thick, so it's not really brushing out, but we can go over it a little bit with this white. Just want like a little shadow there. See how that makes it look like the nose is kind of setting in. Let me clean out this angle brush. And then I'll get a little bit more of this color, but I'm just going to point my brush straight down, so I'm only getting it on the corner. And then wipe it on my palette so that it kind of blends in a little bit. But I'm trying to keep that color just right up there, and that'll make it a little easier to do this. I'm going to go right up underneath the eye. And add a little shadow right around where the eyes go in too. Just to shadow that. Make it a little more realistic looking. All right, let's use a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta, mix that with that blue, a little tiny bit of the black. So using that gray, but I'm also going to add a little bit of purple, It's gonna, or a little bit of the quinacridone to make it a little bit more purpley color. I'm gonna come up here and just go right up underneath where my hat is and use that watered down paint to kind of add a little color right up underneath there where that hat's going. It's going to shadow right there. All right, and let's put a little bit more right here. If you wet this down, you just need to make sure that your background here is dry. If you wet it down a little bit, it'll kind of go on thin. And then you can just use your finger to kind of blend it out. And if you get too much on there, you can always go back in with your white and dab off and cover anything that you know, get too obvious. But we're just trying to kind of leave a little bit of shadow right there under our hat. Gives a little dimension. All right, so now let's add one more layer of the white on our face. This will really brighten it up. And I'm going to mostly go sort of all in this middle part here. Just try to stay away from where I've already shadowed. And we're going to, and if it gets too solid, or, you know, it just looks like a solid white blob, then you can always go back in with a little bit of the Unbleached Titanium or another color to kind of add another, like maybe a little warmer color to it. Just a little something different so that it's not all the same. You want a little bit of depth in that white. So just leaving a little bit of that background colors popping through will give it a little bit more dimension. All right, there we go. Cute. All right, so now clean that out, dry it out really well. Really well. I'm just going to let that set because I want to put some blush on the cheeks, but I want to make sure that this is completely dry before I do that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to get the 1/4 inch angle brush and I'm going to now put back in the eyes. You could use the round brush too for this if you're finding that the angle brush is a little bit difficult for you to manage. Using a round brush can help. Maybe give you a little bit more control. Might be easier for a beginner to use the round brush. Let me go ahead and show you that. There we go. And see, leaving just a little bit of that dark border. And honestly, I kind of think I would have still done this with the carrot and the eyes after having done this just because it was easier to kind of know where to shade and that kind of thing. If I had done all of the white over the top, I might have completely lost the drawing. But if you don't like to draw or you don't want to draw this, I do have traceables available for $1. It's $1 a month on patreon.com/AngelaFineArt. And that's for any traceables that you want, unlimited downloads for $1 a month. And you can cancel if you just want one traceable or just want, 1 month of traceables or whatever. Just if you signed up today, you'd have till, and then canceled tomorrow, you'd still have till the end of December to get as many traceables as you want. So you don't have to stay. There's no penalty for canceling or anything like that. So don't feel like you're locked in for a whole year or something,
Right. And that's for the paintings going back to February 2017.
Yes.
So anything before that, you'd posted traceables in your Thankful Art Facebook group.
Yes, I did. Some of them. I didn't do traceables for everything, though.
Right.
So I don't have them available for all the older videos.
And if you're missing any, I can try to draw one up for you real quick. And
well, because of the traceable, because of the contributions that we got from traceables, we were able to buy a really nice digital tablet. So now I don't have to do them by hand. I used to trace them out onto actual tracing paper and take photographs and like digitally edit it. But now I can actually just draw it straight onto the tablet. I take the photograph of the original and I use my little tablet and I draw over the top of the actual drawing or the actual painting, and then eliminate the painting layer, and I'm left with the black and white perfect copy. So it makes it really nice. So thank you to those who've been contributing to the Patreon fund, because that's allowed us to have better traceables.
yeah. And there's a
$5. Look a lot better than the older ones, that's for sure.
There's a $5 level that gets you a bonus video. That
yeah, we're going to be doing
earlier.
a Christmas truck this year.
Nice.
And yeah, if you want to see the different things that we're doing in our different levels on Patreon, I have if you go to the patreon.com, I have a post that's public that shows all the paintings that we're doing in December and the 2 that are for Patreon only. So there's 2. There's one for the $10 level and there's one for the $5 level.
And again, in joining those levels, you get access to the previous Patreon
yes, you do.
bonus videos also.
So not just this month, but all of the older ones.
Yep. All right.
It's a pretty good.
And people don't like the idea of me trying to do traceables, so I guess we'll just rely on you then.
Okay.
Sorry, honey.
Oh, that's all right. Maybe one day.
I tried.
You tried when?
No,
you tried to offer?
Yeah, to take some of the load off you.
Oh, got it.
People are like, no. So I took that as they didn't want me to do it.
Okay. No. It actually, it's really almost like it turns out to be kind of like a drawing, you know. I mean, well, it is a drawing. But, I mean, the way I try to put a lot of detail into them. So you could even use it as a color sheet if you didn't even want to have to paint it. You could print it out, and like this one especially would be really fun with kids. You could print it out and let them color it in. Okay, so just adding back in this color, which was the Quinacridone Magenta, Burnt Umber, and Cadmium Red Light. Just need that dark color underneath there. Now,
are you using any type of special technique? I noticed you were just like kind of swirling the brush around when you were doing that.
Yeah, no, not really. I'm just kind of...
I don't know if you were trying to get a shape or an effect or anything with it.
No, I'm just kind of trying to fill it in and leave the edges kind of fuzzy. So that kind of doing it that way sort of makes it a little bit, the edges a little bit fuzzier. So that's all I'm doing. All right, so I've got a little bit lighter color. I've mixed up some yellow with my orange here. I'm gonna do some kind of stripes. Sort of just go over the top. Actually, the light's kind of coming from this side, so oddly, the bottom is lighter than the top part on this carrot. So I want to make sure I'm getting that. And I'm leaving a little bit of dark in there. Let me go ahead and grab some cadmium red in my burnt umber. I'm going to go this way with the darker color into that wet orange. Kind of trying to blend them a little bit together. Clean that out. And then I'm going to grab some more of the yellow, add it to the orange that we put down. And I'm going to do one more, come right up to the edge and kind of just pull and lift. Just do a little highlight there. I'm not going to do it all the way down to the bottom because these ones aren't as bright all the way down there, but there is some bright that kind of wraps around. So I'm going to kind of do sort of the semicircle brush strokes with this. So we're not going straight. I'm kind of following this curve right here. This bottom curve on the carrot. Right there. Now I've got Cadmium Red Light. And this is just almost straight. Adding a little bit of that. Okay, go ahead and zoom out there. See how he looks. Oh, yeah, that's cute. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, we'll let that dry and see if we want to add anything else to it, but I think for right now I'm happy. So I'm going to use this angle brush, and I'm going to add a little, actually no, I take that back. I'm going to use the number 2 round, and I'm going to grab a little bit of white, and I'm going to thin it down with water. Add a little bit of black and a little bit of the blue. So it's kind of like that light blue gray that we were using for this color here. Similar, but a lot of white. So mostly white. Just a little bit of blue gray, and I'm gonna add a lot of water to it, and then wipe most of the paint off my brush. Right, and I'm going to use it underneath the eyes. Right here, I'm going to do a little mark on both eyes, just at the very bottom, just like a little semicircle, like that. Mark, why don't you zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. So I did 2 little semicircles with this kind of blue-gray right there and there. And then I'm going to grab the bright color right on the tip, and I kind of flattened out the brush, the tip of the brush, so it's like kind of got this rounded tip, and I'm just going to set it down and lift, set it down and lift, create those little highlights in the eye. Isn't that fun? And I just try to put them in the same spot, kind of about the same distance away from the edge, and same thing with these. Didn't go all the way down to the bottom. I left a little bit of the black ring around the outside. It just kind of gives it a little bit more depth. All right, so I think this is dry enough. We can do our cheeks. So I'm going to go ahead and grab I think I'm going to use a Quinacridone because it's a really pretty pink cheek color. Got a little bit of the color, and I'm going to clean the heck out of this brush. So until it barely looks like there's anything coming off of it on my paper towel. It will not even show up on the brush. That's when you know you've got it right. You do not want too much paint on your brush, otherwise you're going to have this big rosy mess over here. So I want to do it on the same spots, kind of right here and here on my cheeks. And I'm just going to set it down really lightly and brush, just like you're kind of doing your blusher on your own cheeks. You kind of want to start out light, not barely pressing down here, to get that really soft glow on the cheeks. This is dry brushing, so my brush is completely dry. My paint very, very thin on there. And just don't set in the same spot over and over again and brush, because what can happen is you can kind of get a little round spot in the middle like a halo happening. But I think that we did pretty good there. I'll call that good. Turn it out cute. I like it.
There it is, everybody.
I can't stand it. You knew that was coming, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, everybody knew that was coming.
He's so cute. I can't stand it. I held out for as long as I could. All right, so I'm making a really light orange here. I've got a lot of yellow in it, a lot of orange, and I'm going to do just a little bit sort of right along this edge of the nose right there. Just a little bit more highlight. He already looks good. And then we can use a small, like round brush. You could use the edge of your flat brush if you want to. Whatever works for you. Even a pen if you want to. But this is kind of like stitching on here, on this guy. So we can just do like little short lines. It's super easy to do the little short lines, and I think it's less kind of daunting, I think, you know, for a beginner to you can do a line from here to here, but you know, when you try to do it from here all the way to the other side, you're kind of like, I don't know about that. So we can I'm going to go ahead and draw back in my mouth here. So I have a sort of area to aim for. And I'm just going to start doing these little lines. So a little line there, little line there. And I've added a lot of water to my black paint. Whenever you're using a liner brush or a round brush, you want to add a lot of water to it to thin it out, make it easier to use. It won't come off your brush if it's too thick. And then we're just going to do little dashed lines all along our area here. And I'm holding it really close up here and just barely touching it down and lifting. So we're getting these little cute little stitches almost for the mouth. And I'm just trying to do them all about the same size, but it really doesn't matter if you don't get them perfect. And I'm just kind of trying to go along the line of the chalk there. But don't worry about covering up the chalk. It'll come off with the paper towel. After our paint's dry, we can just wipe it right off, so you don't have to cover it all up. Oh, he's cute. I love it. Love it. I sound like that lady on Saturday Night Live. I love it. 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 Go with the dark. This is that dark burgundy color that was for the hat. I'm going to just go right up underneath the nose here and the carrot and kind of add just a few little lines to our carrot nose with this brush and that darker color. It's kind of that reddish color, just to give it even more little detail. Here, honestly, if you're doing this with kids, you could totally, you know, simplify. You don't have to do all this detail that I'm doing here. So just do as much as you're comfortable with. We can even want to get fancy with our stitches. We can go back in and add like a little highlight on our stitches with a little bit of light gray.
I don't think this guy was a snitch, was he?
Snitches get stitches. Is that what you're saying?
I crack myself up.
You do. But that kind of softens it too. It softens the look so it's not so harsh. All right. And now let's finish our little knitting here for our hat. So I'm going to grab some of the Cadmium Red Medium. And I'm just going to use that angle brush and dab in sort of diagonal lines here. Not diagonal, but horizontal. Yep, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Horizontal lines here through our stitching.
I heard on the radio yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a real big fan of the blow-up things for your yards.
Right.
I mean, they're okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, but I heard that there's a narwhal.
A narwhal?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to get the narwhal?
Maybe.
Why? Just sounds really cool.
Just because for elf.
Oh, the elf narwhal. Okay.
Well, this
I see
one
what you're
apparently
saying.
has a scarf and a candy cane for a
nice
horn or whatever they call those on the narwhals.
Hope you find your dad. That narwhal? Is that the one? Yeah.
That's a line I tell my kids all the time.
He does. He does. He's not kidding.
Bye, Spencer.
Hope you find your dad.
Hope you find your dad.
All year long. Not just Christmas. All year long. We crack ourselves up. use way too many elf lines in our household. That's all I'm saying.
Monty Python, Elf.
Yeah.
SNL.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so all of these little diagonal lines here, leaving lots of this background color showing, and I'm not being particularly careful. You can kind of see I'm going over my edges a little bit into that white area too, just slightly. What? You can't start laughing and not tell me what you're laughing at. That's not fair.
Somebody posted fruit spray.
Oh, shoot. Lost my brush. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. Okay, I'm going to use my number 1 for this. I'm going to use the white. Or, I'm sorry, this is the number 2. And I'm going to, yeah, that's a little bit easier than that angle brush. See that? And I'm gonna curve it and get it toward the top there. So these top ones kind of curving a little bit. Really fun. This is super fun. Very easy. Really easy. You do not have to be particularly careful or neat with this. It goes on really fast. Very forgiving. Your eye sees those kind of diagonal lines and it says, oh, that's a hat. That's a knitting, you know. So you're kind of just tricking the eye here. You don't have to draw in all the little stitches or anything. Just kind of do those little diagonal lines and it gives you that effect that we're looking for. Let's do some down here. And I'm leaving a little bit of that dark blue. You can see I did the same thing up there. So leaving that dark blue so that we have our edge there, that border.
Yeah, it makes it look rolly.
Yeah, if I curl it just a little bit when I put it on, it kind of makes it look like it's curved.
And that blue kind of gives it that little shadowy depth too. So it looks like it's just ridges.
Exactly.
Bumping along there.
Right.
Man, I think you know what you're doing.
I've painted snowman a few times. That's all I'm saying. I like them. All right. Fun. All right, so now we just want to put a little highlight on our red part of our snowman's hats. So let's go ahead and grab some white and mix that with the red. And if your red is reading too pink and you want it a little bit more neutral, you can, like if you're not using the Cadmium Red Medium, you're using a different red that's making it look kind of pink, you can always add a little bit of yellow to your red and that makes it a little bit less pink, right? And I'm just going to kind of do it towards the top on these. I'm not going to do it all the way down. Looks like it's a little darker down.
That's interesting.
Lower.
So you said add a little yellow, you know, cut it, make it not look so pink.
Yes. When you're doing highlights in your red, it just makes it.
I don't know if that'll help me in my job tomorrow, but it's good to know.
Good to know. There we go. All right, I think we're pretty good there. Now, if we're going to get real fancy, you could go back in and shadow the hat a little bit, but I think it's pretty close. I might use a little bit of this Unbleached Titanium and just kind of go up underneath with a little bit of that. Just add a little something extra there. Just for another color happening. but I think we're pretty good. Okay, so I thought we would add some, let's go ahead and add some snow first. So I'm going to use my fan brush and get some white. If I can get some clean white here. There we go. Add water to it. You could use a toothbrush too if you have a stiff bristled toothbrush, old toothbrush. Those work really well for this. Just add enough water that it's kind of like a milk consistency. You should be able to see through it when you scrape it on your palette. And the more water that you add, the bigger your splash is going to be. So I'm going to do my snow. Tap, tap, tap. Holding it real firm with one hand to tap my snow. It's going to show up mostly against our red and
it doesn't matter how
there.
close you hold it?
No, I hold it about 6 inches away or so. That probably that gives you about.
Okay.
Because you if you do it too far away, it kind of does a wide dispersal. If you get it a little closer, you kind of get little clusters where you can kind of control where it goes a little bit better.
Yeah, somebody posted a picture of their tablet covered in paint splatters. So I think that's what they were doing.
I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. Yes, ma'am. I feel for you. I have in my old phone case, not this one, but the one before, it was covered with paint. I had it too close to when I was painting one day, and it was just covered. Okay, so I'm now, oh, my mouse, yeah, forget about it. My mouse is all messed up. You know, the bottom of it, look, it's all covered with paint. Yeah, I'm always grabbing it. Oh, my keyboard, too. My keyboard's, like, all splattered with paint all over the place. I did some, I don't know what that is, some orange, brown. There's no telling. It's all right. And my monitor, too. My monitor is just far enough away that it gets some of the splattered, but not too bad. It's not too bad.
Splatter all the things.
Yeah, exactly. Splatter it all. Okay. I'm going to get more white. I want some fresh white here. How close are we? Okay, so we're 7. We're not too bad.
We're doing great. Okay. Or you are. I'm just sitting here.
You're helping tremendously, honey. Thank you.
I'm adding witty, irrelevant comments.
All right, I'm going to get some bigger things. I'll try to scoop up. So I'm getting a little bit bigger snowflakes here. There we go. I don't necessarily want the lines in it, but I do want those big splatters. And I'm just going to blot it. If I wait a little bit, it won't smush around so much. If I kind of wait just a little bit and then blot, it will give me kind of a ghost of a color there in my background. There we go. Makes it look a little farther away. So I'm going to do some snowflakes and then we'll do some more splatters just at the very end. Got some really messy splatters in here. And if you catch them while they're wet, you can just kind of wipe them right off. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do some snowflakes. I'm going to use my small liner brush. Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, it's over here. This brush with my white. Add water to it, just like we did with the black. And I think I'll do like one right close here. Do a line and then do an X. So we do like that. Do one down here. Line. And then an X. Like that. Cute. And then do we want to do mistletoe, or do we want to do an arm hanging up here? What do you think? We could do his little arm right here. Maybe. Let's do the arm.
Arm waving.
Yeah, like his arms kind of catching the snowflakes or something.
Ooh, cool.
I don't know. Let's do a big snowflake right here. There we go. And then we'll do...
Nice.
I'm going to use this large... Well, I didn't end up using these two yet, so I don't know that we needed the Filbert. So I'm going to make a brown with the burnt umber, a little bit of the unbleached titanium there. And we're just going to kind of start off over here. I think his shoulder would be like right in here, so his arm's going to be coming down from like right up in here. And I'm just going to dab and try to get smaller as I go up. Press down a little bit less as I go up. Then we can thicken out the bottom of our branch there. There we go. Cute.
So, of course, everybody could stop wherever they want to.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't have to
Yeah,
have
if you
the
don't
arm.
want to do the arms, you don't have to.
No, it kind of reminds me of Stickman's family.
Yeah, now he kind of goes a little bit better. Yeah, he's like trying to catch the snowflake coming down. It's cute. I like it. All right, grabbing the unbleached titanium here. I'm going to use that on this log. And I'm just going to dab in a little bit of highlight along that top edge. While it's wet, it's going to kind of blend a little bit. If you wait till it dries, that's fine too. It'll be a little bit more noticeable, but that's all right. Grab a little bit of that darker color. We can even grab some white. Do a little bit of white, like he's got some ice on his branch. There we go. Cute. And then we can do our snowflake pretty much however we want to. We can get real fancy with it if we want, or we can keep it fairly simple. If you want to keep it simple, you could just get kind of some dots and just do a few little dots on either side. Like dot, dot, dot. You know, dot the ends of these. I'm going to do some zigzag lines, so it's like got these zigzag shapes. I'm going to do like a C shape right there. Like that.
So down below the video, you click the Show More, or the little arrow, depending on what device you're watching on. You'll see a list of all the paints Angela's used, also links to the brush guides, and 5% off of the Angela Fine Art if you need to buy brushes.
Right.
Also,
and our Amazon store.
The
where I list
Amazon links. Yeah.
all of the stuff we are using.
Correct. So, like those yoga mats that
Yeah,
people ask
I
about.
keep getting asked questions about that.
So that's what she's got her painting propped up on. It's a unique solution to that problem.
Yeah, well, it just puts it just at the right angle for me when I'm doing these videos, because the way the light, if I have it straight flat, you can see the light kind of reflects on it really weird. It's really bad with darker colors. The darker you get, the worse it is. So yeah, this works really well for it. I'm going to do like little dots inside here. You can do as fancy as you want. Snowflakes are really fun. As long as you get this this outside shape right, then you can kind of fill it in however you want to. Let's go ahead and do some zigzags this way on each end. Really fun. Let's put a little dot at the end of all of these. They don't even have to touch. They can just be kind of out on their own. Just like that. A little bit more. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to do with these. Maybe do one more little smaller zigzag at the very end. There we go.
So people said maybe a small cardinal or something on.
Yeah, you could put a bird.
There.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Totally.
A string of lights.
Yep, we just did string of lights in the door that we did last week, so you could use that and do, like, you know, bigger ones. But yeah, that would be really cute. There's all kinds of things you could do. You could even do a broom handle, like a broom doing something. I don't know.
So real quick, we talked about earlier the snowman ornaments you did a couple of years ago.
Yes.
The traceables for those are in the Facebook group under the files section of the Thankful Art Facebook group.
Yes, they are.
So they were before Patreon, so they are one of the few that are in that group.
Yep. Yep. I'm going to do a circle here. Did like a zigzag line there. Let's do dots. There we go. Cute. I like it. So we'll do this one kind of a medium size. We got a kind of big, some medium, small, and then this one will kind of be in between size.
And the rule of odds here, so odd number of snowflakes, odd number of branches, odd number of noses. He's got an even number of eyes, so we're kind of throwing off
breaking the rule there.
Right. So you want to put a third eye in there somewhere?
No, I think we're okay.
Okay.
We'll be okay. I think you can break the rules every now and then.
Whatever. You're so rebellious.
There we go. Cute. All right, and then I want to do one more layer of splatters to finish.
Sure, why not?
Well, those ones, like I took most of them off. I wanted them to look faded, so I blotted it. But this time I'm not going to blot. I'm going to keep them nice and bright and white. So
excuses.
Hey, it is wintertime. I can splatter all I want. Nobody can say anything about it. It is my time to shine. I'm trying to cover that little black spot up. I don't know what that was. There we go. All right. So got some water on here. My white. Go back to my... Oh, there we go.
This one's for you, Dave. He missed the earlier splatter round.
So, oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. There you go, Dave.
I think he's recovering from the splatters from the last show.
It was exciting. I like having these big ones in here every now and then. So you kind of have to get a lot of water on your brush to get those to come out real big like that. There we go. Plus we wanted snow on top of our branches too. We don't want them to look like they're not included in the Snow extravaganza. How do you say that?
Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon. Yeah, exactly. All right. There we go. Super cute. Hope you guys try this. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And I definitely think it's beginner friendly. So, super chat. Nice. Awesome. Can I sign this?
That's for all the new people who are wondering why the heck were we moving in chat.
More cowbell?
Because of the cowbell. There's some history behind that. So tonight's super chatty person was Deidre. And she says, cute, cute, cute. So darn cute.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela Mark.
Oh, thanks, Deidre. I appreciate it. Yeah, this one is tipping the scales on my cute meter. And he's going up in my Snowman collection for sure. So, really fun.
Yeah, no Stickman again, huh?
Hey, Stickman right here. He kind of got worked into the...
He's going to have to find a side job, I guess.
Yeah, maybe next time. Went a little bit long on this one, but it was worth it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back Saturday for another show. We got, what are we doing Saturday? I'm trying to think. Is it the red truck? I think we're doing the red truck.
We're going to be doing a painting.
Yeah, we're doing a red truck. It'll be fun.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I'll have to look it up here.
Yeah, make sure.
Talk about your links and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. If you want links to any of my social media to follow me or join me for that Thankful Art chat on Thursdays that I do at 2:30 live in that group, it is down in the description. You just click on the show more or the arrow down and it'll take you to my social media links down there in the description, all the good stuff.
Yep, you're right. It is a red truck.
Red truck.
It's already posted, so you could go over there, hit the remind.
Yeah. You can go hit the remind button. It'll remind you before the show. And we'll do it every Saturday at 2 o'clock, except for the 22nd this month. We're doing it early. But normally we're at 2 o'clock every Saturday.
We got some family stuff to do.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.